My name's Debbie Webb, and I'm with the Andersontown Powwow. So we're here today to celebrate our city's Native American heritage and also our county's Native American heritage. We have 20 presenters that are here today to share their culture with you so that you can learn more about how Native Americans lived more than 200 years ago here in Madison County. So I'm going to turn it over to Michael Pace. Michael is a great-great-great-grandson of Chief Anderson, who was the Delaware chief that this city was named after. It was called Andersontown. So please welcome from Bartlesville, Oklahoma, Michael Pace.
Hey, Walikishku, glad to have you all here today. Well, today we're going to kind of give you a little example of the Andersontown Powwow, which is this weekend down at the old racetrack, and it's going to be going on Saturday and Sunday. And so we ask all of you, if you want to, come down and participate in the powwow this weekend. There's going to be a lot of events going on. It will be a dance, but we have a lot of vendors. We're going to have a lot of places to eat. You have a lot of, it actually is also going to have a lot of art dealers that are going to be there, so there's plenty of things that you could do. There's also going to be a lot of hands-on activities, especially for the young folks and even for the adults. And actually, if you want to learn to throw a tomahawk, there's going to be a guy there that can teach you to do that. That's always a lot of fun. How many of you would like to learn to throw a tomahawk? Yeah, that's always a lot of fun. Might be a good thing to learn. Might come in handy someday. You never know. But we're going to be giving you an example of the type of dances that you would see at a powwow. Because at a powwow today, it's an intertribal, which means that you have a lot of different tribes that are participating. It's not just one tribe. Now, the Delaware, the Miami, the Potawatomi, the Shawnee, and actually you had the the Kaskaskia, the Piankashaw, the Huron, the Wyandotte, the Ottawa, the Seneca, and the Kickapoo used to live in this four-state area. So you had a lot of tribes that were living in this area at one time. And so all of these tribes have their own culture, they had their own language, and they had their own history here. And so all of those tribes will be participating here at this powwow this weekend. So we encourage you all to come out, and you're going to get, each one of the teachers here are going to get a packet here that will allow you to come out and participate at the powwow this weekend. And so we encourage you to come out and do that. So what we are doing here today is going to give you a little example of what you might see at the powwow. And so we have a lot of dancers here who are going to express their, their culture to you by dance. And so here at the center drum here, we have some of our drummers who will be here. So want to introduce to you, right here in the center in the blue shirt is Mr. Mel Hoffling, who is going to be the head singer at the powwow. So let's give a little hand for Mel here. Right next to him, on the right side there, we're honored to have Kickapoo Rice from Meeker, Oklahoma. He's going to be helping out. And on the left side there, there's Bart Hudson, who's local from here, where he's going to be helping out here today too. So the drum is a very important part of the powwow because this really is the heartbeat of the powwow. This provides the rhythm of the drum. And of course, the songs that these drummers will be singing are these songs that have been given to us by the Creator. And those are the songs that we dance to. That is the real pulse of a powwow. And so these gentlemen will be singing those songs for each one of the dances that we do. There are many different styles of dance, so both for men and women. So we're going to start off today with the women's dance. And so we're going to invite our women dancers to come up here in front, and we're going to show you several different styles of the women's dance and the dress that each one of these women are going to show you. So I want the women to come up here and line up right here in front. And so the women dancers we have here actually are pretty much from Oklahoma. So we're going to show you the southern dances. So we're going to show you just the southern dances right now. So, sorry, Megan.
You said women.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that was my fault. Can't win them all. So, up front here, starting on the far, I guess it would be your right, I guess. On the far end down there in the red dress is Ella Pace. And she is wearing a Delaware ceremonial dress. And the Delaware ceremonial dress is something that the Delaware tribe or the Lenape tribe would be wearing. And you'll notice her dress has a large brooch in front, which was made out of German silver. She's carrying her shawl. She has an eagle fan. She also is carrying that purse there, which is called a tulip purse. Now, the Delaware made tulip purses. They got those from the Dutch. They liked the tulip flower. And because of that, they started making a six-sided purse made from those tulip bulbs. And they always carry those, and that's a traditional purse they still wear today. Her ribbon work is on the side, and we wore, the girls wore wraparound skirts. And they carried their ribbon work on the right. And of course, she's wearing Delaware-style moccasins, which were gathered at the toe and brought up. And the ribbon work is put on the sides there. Now, next to her is Delo Carrara. I think that's what it was. And she is actually Sac and Fox and Pawnee. Now, she's wearing a day dress, it was a plains dress, but she's carrying a beaded bag on hers. And this would be an everyday dress that you would have seen. And we're glad to have her up here. She's from Meeker, Oklahoma. And so her dress is what you would see an everyday dress. But now she is wearing a plains tribe or a plains moccasin, which was a little taller moccasin. Now she's not carrying a shawl, but next to her, we have Pawnee Duncan. And Pawnee Duncan is actually wearing her shawl. And she has plains tribe moccasins. And now her ribbon work actually comes down the front. So you see the different styles where the Delaware had theirs on the right. Her ribbon work is right on the front. And look at the tall moccasins she has. So it comes up, protects her leg there. And of course, her bead work is on the front too, but hers is made out of hair pipe there. Next, we have Miss Andrews here. And she, Cutsley, is wearing a plains tribe dress too, but now she has these tall moccasins. Those are kind of plains tribe moccasins. She also has a wraparound skirt. She's carrying a turkey fan, and she also has her shawl that she's carrying too. So then we have, this is Kickapoo's sister here, and she's also, she's actually, huh? Oh, that's over there. Sorry about that. Yeah. But she has her fan too, and she's also Oto and Pawnee. Very good. See, I remembered that. Okay. Also, she has her ribbon work down the front. And I want you to notice all of these women that have their ribbon work, they did that themselves. This is done by hand. And you don't find this at Walmart. You have to make it yourself. That's part of your traditional culture. So, and she has her moccasins too, made that way. Now we have Sue, who is doing Southern Plains. She finally got dressed. She was a little late. Can't win them all. Now, hers is a little different. She's wearing her shawl around her waist, and this is the Southern Plains. And so hers is made out of satin too, and it's a wraparound. She has her leather belt that she wears about hers. She's also wearing a Southern Plains. She also has a leather bag that has been decorated. And she's carrying a hawk fan that she carries in front of her. So we're going to show you the Southern Plains dance of the women. And so we're going to ask Mel to give us a Southern Plains dance. And these ladies are going to show you the Southern Plains dance for the women. And you will notice how feminine and slow this dance is. So watch as each one of them express their dance. Oh, Anishita. Thank you very much, ladies. Now, as you come out this weekend, we're going to have a lot of women dancers that are going to be at the powwow. And so the other thing about when you come to the powwow, oftentimes you are allowed to come out and dance with us, except when we're doing contest powwows. But you can come out and dance with the dancers when you're given permission to do that. And so this is a celebration of dance. And so people that come to the dance, when you want to come out and participate with them, please do so, because it is a celebration. And so we encourage you to come out and join in. Sometimes it's may seem like it's a little scary to come out and try to keep in step with them, but it's really not that hard. All you have to do is keep in step to the drum beat of the drum. Well, now we're going to show you the men's dance, which is what we call a Southern Plains dance, which is the straight dance. And so we have two dancers doing the Southern Straight. So Sam Murphy and I are going to show you the Southern Straight dance. Now, the Southern Straight dance is a dance where these dancers, we do not wear bustles like you would see. The bustles are the ones, we don't have a Northern traditional dancer with us here today. So we're going to show you the Southern Straight dance. Now, The Southern Street dance is what we call a gentleman's dance. It was really for the older guys, and it's really a slower dance, but it's still pretty hard to do. You have to keep in step to this dance. And so what we are wearing is slightly different. And fortunately, Sam and I are dressed a little bit differently so we can explain the differences. So you'll notice Sam's dress here. He is wearing leather leggings as well as I am. But you'll notice that he is wearing deer toes as his shells here, whereas I am wearing actual bells on mine to create the rhythm, because as we dance along, we're going to keep these in rhythm to keep that rhythm to it. He's also wearing a ribbon shirt as well as I am. We also have beaded belts. We have our cross pieces here for that. But if you turn around, you will see that we do have these drags, which we wear too. So while both of ours are different, his is metal. Now, Sam is also wearing what we call a roach made out of porcupine hair and deer hair. That was something that we both do. I am wearing an otter turban, and we both have our eagle feathers in here. Now, we will be carrying our eagle feathers. Sam has a turkey fan with his. We also carry dance sticks, which we would really use kind of like pointers as we dance. The Southern Straight dance is really where we're actually using this dance to express maybe tracing or following an animal. Maybe we're following an enemy. So this is an expressive dance where we dance as we're tracking. And so we both express ourselves in our own way as we do the dance. And so this is something that is a very popular dance, especially in Oklahoma. So some dancers, some tribes, this is the only dance the men do. For the Osage, this is, their dance. That's the only dance they do. So we're going to give you an example. So Mel is going to give us a dance of the Southern Straight dance. So it's a very nice dance, and of course, at 73-year-old, I don't dance like I did 50 years ago, but that's life. And you'll notice that also I kind of get out of breath because it may look simple, but it's really not. And actually, that was a short version. And so when we're really doing this, we might have 4 push-ups. So by the time we get through at a contest, I can barely breathe. But of course, I don't contest against 20-year-olds, but that's okay. Well, anyway, that is an expression of that kind of dance. And so we're going to do another women's dance here. And this time, Megan, You are on tap. And who else we got, Paige? Okay, we'll just do both of these at the same time. Okay, Megan, Finch, and Paige are here, so we're going to do two dances in one here. This is a Northern Plains dance for women. So, Megan over here is going to show you the jingle dress. Now, the jingle dress is a Northern type of dance, which was actually, the jingle dress is a medicine dress. This came from the North. We call it a medicine dress because she's wearing 365 cones on her dress. One cone for every day of the year. Many years ago, a young lady was sick. Her father was praying every day to help cure that illness. He began to put a cone on every day on a dress, and eventually she was healed. And ever since that time, they brought out this dress. And so today, at Powwow, sometimes people come and ask jingle dress dancers to dance for them. So it's kind of like a prayer to be healed by using this medicine dress. Next page here has using what we call a northern shawl. And as she spreads out her shawl here, you'll see everything here is done. She's done all this bead work. As you turn around here, you see that that's all done too. And so this is also very athletic. And it's usually the younger people who do this sort of dance because it is very athletic. It takes a lot of skill. It also takes a lot of energy to do this dance. But it looks really good. And it's a really fun thing to watch. And when you have a lot of them it's kind of like watching, like you watch a bunch of monarch butterflies in there, because it is a very expressive dance. And each one of the dancers, here again, they have their own expression of their own dance. So everybody does it just slightly different. It's not the same thing. They don't always do the same thing. That's what makes it expressive. And so it's always a fun dance to watch. And when you have a lot of them in the arena, it's really quite fun to watch them do this. So we're going to have a dance of the northern shawl and the jingle dress. So Mel, if you'd give us a song. Oh, there we go. Very good. Very good. Well, thank you very much. Now, I'm going to take just a short break here because, I want to teach you guys a couple of words here that I want you to remember. I want you to take it with you, and I especially want you to use it here. Every tribe has its own language. And, now I'm glad I still speak my own language, which is Lenape. And so I want to teach you two words that I want you to use, and I want you to remember it. And actually, I want you to use it among yourselves. And actually, I want you to take it home with you and use it. So, let's see here. Yeah, right here. The pink shirt right there. I know you're shy, but I want you to come up here and help me. Can you do that? Do you want to do that? You're right in the front row. Come on, don't be shy. Come up here and help me. You don't want to do that? You don't even want to look at me, do you? All right, come on up here. You can help me. Now come up the stairs here. Come on up here real quick. Come on up, stand right here in the middle of the stage. Okay, now, what's your name?
Bellaly.
Huh?
Bellaly.
Deloney, very good. I like it. Huh?
Bell.
Huh?
Bell.
Bell. Okay, with a B, in other words. It's kind of like baloney, but it's Belloni, right? Okay, sorry. I was just kidding. All right. I want you to stand there. I want you to look good. Look straight at the audience. Stand tall. Smile. Look good now. Okay. I want everybody out here to hold your hands up like this. Yeah, adults aren't exempt. Come on. Everybody repeat after me and do what I do. This is how you say thank you in Lenape. So do it just like this. One. Come on, I didn't hear it. One. Knee. She. Do it again. Very good. Now, what does Wanishi mean? What?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's do it again. And what does Wanishi mean?
Thank you.
Very good. Now you can sit down. All right. So, every time we finish something up here, instead of you saying thank you to the dancers, I want you to say Wanishi. Can you do that? Wanishi. All right. Now, if somebody says thank you to you in Lenape and they say Wanishi, how do you answer a thank you? When somebody says thank you to do, what do you say in return? You're welcome. So to say you're welcome in my language, we say asami. And here's how you can remember that. So here's another memory aid. So do it just like this. Hold your hands up. Do it like this. This is how you say asami. It's just a memory aid to help you remember it. So do it just like this. I saw. There you go. Now, was that hard? So, how do you say you're welcome in Lenape? Very good. Now, how do you say thank you? And how do you say you're welcome? Yeah, but say it faster. You're not zombies. There you go. Well, all right. Now, we're going to take a little break here. You see all this stuff right up here? Well, there's a gentleman here who is going to talk to you about all of this stuff right here. Now, his name is Jim Sawgrass. And he's going to give you a talk about all the early history and the artifacts of the many tribes that lived here. And so he's going to give you a little example and show you all of these things that you see on the table here. So I want to introduce to you Mr. Jim Sawgrass. Let's give him a hand. Mado.
Hinchjay, Stungo, Paha Glosli, Stichata Muskogee. And then we learned how to say hello your way. Aren't you glad? Boys and girls, I told you my name is Jim Sawgrass. I am from the tribe of Muskogee. Can you say Muskogee? Muskogee. It means the people of the swamps. We live south of here in the swamplands. I have traveled all the way from Florida. I have brought a large village to set up at the Powwow. And I've brought a few of the things from my village to show you today. Before we start, I would like to teach you how to say hello in my tribe. Say, Hinchjay. Hinchjay. That's hello. It's a lot different than saying how, isn't it? We don't say how. The only tribe I know that says that is I like to call the TV tribe. You know, television. They've made up many things about us. Look at the way I am dressed. This is how my tribe used to dress back 200 years ago. That's right. 200 years ago, we were no longer known as Muskogees. English people nicknamed us the Creeks because we lived by the rivers and by the creeks. Just like many tribes here in this area also lived by the rivers and by the creeks. Our ancestors go back thousands of years, even before the name Indian. We called ourselves in our language, and our language means our name is people. My tribe, Muskogee, means the people of the swamps. And so every tribe's name usually means the people in their language. As our tribes lived in the swamps long ago, we were fishermen using fish traps. Just like in this area, you would use the grapevines and sticks to build these traps. They would set these in the river with rock walls. These rock walls would guide the fish right inside the trap. Once they went inside, sharp spikes facing in keep the fish from coming back out. When I'm ready to take the fish out of this trap, I can untie the inside basket and open it up to dump out the fish. We also used hooks. This hook you're looking at on the end here is carved out of a deer's toe bone. That's right. When we killed those animals, it wasn't to be mean. It was so we could live and so we could survive. When we took something from nature, it was our way of surviving. Just like today, you go to a store and buy something so you can survive. Nature, the forest, the woodlands, that was our store to go to. Except we didn't have to buy it. We just had to be a good hunter or a good survivalist and know what to use. Nature gives us everything we need so we can survive. The sticks we can rub together to make our fires, like our ancestors did long ago. When you come to the powwow this weekend, I will be demonstrating how you can rub sticks together to make a fire. This bow is made from the buffalo's rib bone, and it's used as a bow to drill and make a fire. When we kill that deer, we'll use all of him. I might take his skin and make it into very soft hides. By using the brains of the deer rubbed into the skin will cure the hide from rotting. Everyone say brain tanning. Tanning means to make leather. Are you wearing leather today? Look at your shoes. A lot of them are made with leather. We would use every bit of that animal. Maybe I'll leave the hair on the deer's skin. Or maybe I'll take that hair and scrape it off. And maybe I'll use it to make the headdress that you see me wearing. Do you see the headdress I have on? It's commonly known as a roach. It's worn by a braid of my hair that keeps it from falling off my head, and a pin made of wood going through the braid to hold it on. I'm also wearing feathers of the different birds. These feathers would have meanings to our tribes, maybe an eagle feather, or an egret feather, or a hawk feather. These feathers all had meaning. In the old days, we wore paint for ceremony, for dancing. Paint was worn to scare the enemies in battle. Paint was sometimes worn by our hunters as camouflage, and sometimes we rubbed it on our skin to keep the sun from burning. Today, I am wearing my paint because it makes me look good. What do you think? I am wearing bear claws in my ears. Can you say nokus? Nokus is how my tribe says bear, and I have his skin right here. Is anybody cold? Who is cold? You are? What is your name? Stand up, Amelia. Turn around. There you go. Now you can sit down. You see, in the old days, this is how we would get warm. There was no blanket, there was no cloth like I'm wearing. Only the things from nature. I might take that deer's foot and I might dry it stiff so I can use it as a tool for digging. I might take the bones out of that deer's leg and break them and scrape them on the rocks to get them sharp, to make picks, pins, and daggers, or fish hooks. Some bones were sharpened like this one to use for, anybody want to get their ear pierced today? You do? No? Okay. These bones here came from the wing of a turkey. When I ate turkey, I took the bones and cut the ends of the bones off and hollowed them out and fit the two bones together, just like this tube. It makes the sound of the turkey. And that's the sound we would use to call the male turkey, the gobbler. Maybe I'll take that fat from the deer and I'll cook it into oil. Oil that I can use for cooking. Oil that I can use for lotion. Oil that I can use for a candle. Animal fat was made into all kinds of things, even soap. Do you use soap? Well, what do you think it's made out of? I might take that deer's toenails and use them for a rattle. Just like you heard when they were dancing, the rattles. In the old days, this is what we would have had for a noisemaker. Maybe we'll take a turtle shell and we'll use it for a rattle. Maybe I'll take that turtle shell and I'll make it into a pocket to put things in. That's where I keep my cell phone. How about this big giant turtle shell? What do you think we would use it for? Maybe a shield? Or how about a plate if you're hungry? And so the things that we took from the animals, it wasn't to be mean, it was survival. That animals' tendons is what holds your muscles to your bones. We would use it as string to tie things together. Long ago, we had no metal tools. The only metal tools we had was a little bit of copper. Most of our tools were made of bones of the animals, wood, shells, and rocks. Learning to break rocks is ancient, one of the oldest arts of man. Learning to chip stones and make them sharp. This arrowhead you're looking at is over 2,000 years old. A little girl your age found it in her backyard. And about 25 or 30 years ago, I went to her school and did a program just like I am today. And as I was there, her family brought this and gave it to me as a gift so I could have it to show to you. You see, the traces of our ancestors are all over North and South America. As Europeans arrived, Christopher Columbus gave us that name, Indian. Your land you live in was named Indiana because of the number of tribes that lived in this area that you've been learning about in your school. And our ancestors left many things behind. Maybe there's an arrowhead in your backyard. That arrowhead might have been used to make a knife, like the ones I'm showing you. The handles are made of the antlers of the deer. The blades are made of sharp stones that people learned to break and chip those rocks starting out with big hammers to bust down the big rock boulders, and then small chipping stones and pecking stones for breaking the rock again even smaller. And finally, the antlers of a deer would be used on the edge of that flint to shape it the way we want it to be. Here's another one of my favorites. This one has a handle made of the jawbone of a coyote. And so this is the kind of knives that you would have found in our villages. What about an axe? Everyone say tomahawk. Tomahawks like this is not just used for chopping wood by itself. If I start hitting on a hard log with this, this will break. First, I would burn the wood, then I would chop the wood. By burning the wood first, it makes it softer and easier for chopping. This canoe you're looking at is just a toy, but the real canoe might be 30 foot long. We would burn out the center, chopping, burning until it's hollowed. Our homes we lived in were not teepees. A lot of times television makes you think we all had teepees. In this area, there was a number of different types of homes, wigwams, different structures made with bark, made with grasses and woven mats to build the coverings of the house. Down where I live in the swamp, we use the leaves of the palms, but up here they would use the grasses from the marshes and make mats and use the bark peeled off the trees in giant pieces. This bark I've taken from the tree has been made into two pockets or a bucket put together. And so bark was also used to build the walls and the roofs of many of the homes. Our homes were very permanent. We did not follow the buffalo herds that often, only in certain times. Most of the time we would stay in one spot and we were farmers. Many of the foods that you eat today are foods that native people have been growing in North America for thousands of years. Corn, beans, and squash we called the three sisters because all three seeds were planted in the same spot and they grew together and helped each other just like sisters do. This garden tool that I've made is made with stone, deer antler, and tied on with some rawhide. Rawhide is an animal skin, just like the deer skin, except dried and very hard. We used it to make many things, like this weapon you see right here. Those are also made out of rawhide. See that? You throw that at the animal and it knocks him out or tangles him up. But we were farmers, and because we were farmers, native people of the east of the Mississippi River, lived in the forest and the woodlands. They built permanent homes because they were farmers. Over time, staying in one spot, we learned how to make our pottery using the clay, shaping it, drying it, and baking it in the fire. Does your mom cook in a clay pot or a metal pot? I see. Well, long ago, this was how we would make our pottery. Everybody say that, pottery. One of the other oldest arts of man is the art of weaving. We learned to weave things like bark, grasses to make rope, and even mosses from the trees we would use to make our ropes with. Over time, we learned to make our tools even better. This pump drill is used to drill holes to make shells into beads or beautiful carvings that would tell what a person did long, long ago. Not far from here is a place called Indian Mounds Park. How many has ever been there? That was a spot where native people lived thousands of years ago in the mound building times, when they wore these shells as a way of telling who they were. From the top of these mounds, they could send out messages and signals far away. Different sounds could mean different things. Just like your mom and dad has a cell phone, long ago we had a shell phone. Now we could communicate great distances. We could travel and trade with each other. Well, boys and girls, I've got one more thing to show you here. and that is our weapons. Would you like to see some of our weapons? Now, the first weapons, of course, were very simple. They were things like this noggin knocker here. Woo! For striking. Over time, people learned to make their sticks even better. They made them sharp, and they had sticks that were for stabbing. That was the first spears. They were just a sharp stick that they scraped on the rocks and heated it in the fire. And then they learned to put rocks on their sticks, and they made them better. One day, somebody got too close to a big animal trying to stab him, and that animal turned around and stabbed him back. The next time the hunter went out, he didn't have a stick for stabbing. He learned to do something new. What was it? Throwing. And so they began to throw their spears, and they made them light using cane, feathers from the turkeys to make them fly good. The arrowheads were a lot of times made for coming off. That would stick into the front of the arrow just like that. Whenever they would throw that at the big woolly mammoth, this would stick into him, this would fall on the ground. Now the hunter can pick it up and use it again. If I throw this with my hand, it would only make it maybe to the wall right there, and that would be about it. But if I wanted this arrow to go the length of a football field or a soccer field, then I have to make my arm much longer. And so the next invention here is something that people used all over the world. Everyone say, addle, addle. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. An addle addle is a stick with a hook, and that hook fits right on the back of the arrow, just like that. So now whenever I throw the spear, the addle addle will act like an extension of my arm. Now, over time, people got smart, and they made the addle addle better. They learned to carve on that piece of wood and make it thin. And if you can make it thin, what will happen to that piece of wood? It might break, but if you don't make it too thin, what will happen to that piece of wood? It will bend. And people learned to bend that piece of wood. And so the addle addle was made even better. This was used for hunting all over the world for the big giant woolly mammoths and the mastodons. Say it again, addle addle. As time goes on, people learn to take that bending wood and make a new weapon. What's it called? That's right. You have been studying. The bow. Now, do you think my bow is going to be able to shoot this big arrow? Not at all. And so the arrows started to be made a lot smaller. And by making them smaller, they could shoot them even better. That's my quiver. That is a garfish. Everybody say garfish. I have one made of an alligator's tail, but it's in Italy. Yeah, I was just there. But I did bring a cool quiver. What do you think? That's a garfish skin, and the scales of the fish are very tough, so if something hit it and tried to break my arrows, it wouldn't break them at all. Let me show you a couple of them. Now, if I shoot these arrows with a bow, they will be shot so far you probably wouldn't even find them anymore. And so these points are made of bone and also made of flint. This long, skinny one is a fishing arrow. And so our arrows were meant for putting food on the table. And if you put food on the table, you can survive. Didn't I tell you nature gives us everything we need so we can survive? All we have to do is learn how to use those things in nature, and we can survive still. We can still rub sticks together and make fire. We can still go back to living off the land like our ancestors did, if we have to. We can learn what plants are food and medicine, just like they did long ago. And so this week at the festival in Powwow, these are some of the things you're going to be learning in my encampment. I have a big village, a chicky hut set up. I'm going to be cooking on an earth oven, an oven made of rocks. Have you ever cooked on a rock before? Well, you haven't lived life yet, huh? I guess. Well, boys and girls, in our tribe, my tribe, the Muskogee or Creek tribe, we say motto. Motto. That is thank you very much. I will see you at the powwow.
Oh, very good. Let's give Jim another hand there. That was a pretty good presentation there. Thank you very much, Jim. Well, all right, we're going to continue with our program. And we have another dancer we want to present. We were saving this one. And then we still have time, so a couple of classes are going to get to come up here and dance with us. But we're going to choose those guys. Let's calm down. Oh, relax. Now we have another dancer. We were saving this one. So, the Northern Plains dance again, which was, we're going to have Justin Quissergrow come up here. He's going to do a grass dance. Now, a grass dance was a northern dance again. When on the Northern Plains, you had a lot of high grasses, and when they were getting ready to clean out an area to do the dance, these dancers came out and they pushed the grass down with their feet. And he's going to give an example of just how they did that. So they turned this into a dance. And this was the grass dancers. You'll notice that his regalia here has those long strings on them, and that represented the long wavy grass. And as he dances, you'll notice how that sways. And he'll be dancing and actually showing you how they push that grass down. And here again, this is a very physical dance. It's a very athletic dance. And of course, he'll be dancing also in rhythm to that drum. And so this is a very nice dance. And here again, this was a northern type of dance. So we're going to ask Mel to give a northern grass dance. Mel, take it away. Oh, very good. All right. Well, once again, we want to remind you this weekend, the powwow down at downtown, right across from the downtown area, at the old racetrack there. The powwow will be opening at 11 o'clock Saturday morning. We'll have 2 grand entries on Saturday. We encourage you all to come out, bring your folks out, come on out and join in with us. We have lots of things to see and do, a lot of hands-on activities. Things you've seen here today will be going on. You get to see Jim again. And we have a lot of artists that will be there, a lot of dealers, lots of things to look at. So we encourage you guys to come on out and join in with us. Right now, we want to get you guys, some of the classes, not everybody, unfortunately, but we're going to ask a few classes to come up and join in with us. Those ones you marked? Okay. So first, we're going to do kind of a dance that would be called a friendship dance. So we're going to ask a couple of classes to come up, and we're going to do what we call a friendship dance. And so what we're going to do is we're going to ask, let's see, this will be Edgewood, and it will be Dan Russell and Jody Payton. Those two classes, if you guys would come up here with us, we're going to do a friendship dance. So those two classes, come on up here with us. Hey, Wanishita. Well, I hope you enjoyed your program today. Did you enjoy what you saw today? Okay, very good. Well, I want you to know that we have been doing this for quite some time, and we always enjoy coming up here from Oklahoma and putting on this program for the schools here. But once again, you know, we still have this weekend, so we encourage you guys to come up.